I gotcha. Gotcha.
Well, I just,
Now we're live. This
I
is the
know,
green room live.
I know this is the green
Not
room.
live.
I know, I can see it. It's right there on the screen. It says the green room.
The green. Well, that's only if I got my buttons right.
Yep, yeah, got buttons.
Just like I just click buttons.
Beep
I click
boop.
these buttons sometimes. I
Beep
click
boop.
these buttons,
Beep boop.
and that's what I spend all my day doing.
Yes.
I love
Funny
those
story.
Instagram memes.
Funny story.
Yeah.
I get that Instagram meme from you in the morning, and then around dinner time, your partner in crime from Grosse Point Blank sent it to me as well.
Cormac forwarded.
Yes.
He got it from me too. I sent it to him too.
it took about 12 hours, but then I got it from both of you, so I knew
he's busy.
Michigan in the house. So
yeah. I guess it's chalk it up to us being on the same wavelength or the same keystroke.
Yeah. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. Yes.
Have you witnessed? This is a fun aside because it's irrelevant to anything that we'll be talking about on the show. But TV, I watched Prime Target as you recommended, and there is a NSA staffer. But have you seen how horrendously they type? Hunt and peck, 2-finger typing for somebody who's a tech.
So fast though, so fast is that hunt and peck.
It was quite quick, but it was like it makes my Gen X touch type. Everyone took touch typing heart hurt. Probably hurt makes yours too. I don't know.
You are showing your age.
I know, but this is Jamie. When we're out at the conference, though, he's that side.
No, it's not. That's my eyes, though. That's more my eyes. That's my eyes.
Right. No, but it's more like this.
No, it's not. That's bad. That's really bad. That's like me. That's like you doing a mimic of me mimicking my dad or something like that. Like there's generations of stuff in there.
It's also me.
and only M can do that. Like that would be the rule.
It's also me.
Yeah.
So it's really not that big of a. It's not a real dig because it was mostly me.
Okay.
But yeah, this prime target. So when I tease my students, I don't even tease them. But I do this. It's like, I'll type an email. Let me type an email. And I use the hands. I use all fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Like at some point, right in the near future, you're gonna see this. Well, I'll just type an email. Right? I mean, it's probably already exists.
It's like a thumb war.
Like I do this.
And
then some people probably like this, right?
Yeah, but you remember
thumb war?
Thumb war?
Could you? Well,
we could make our own memes. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing with this podcast? Why don't we just like? Who remembers this?
Remember, like when the AI first started making images and they had problems with fingers. It's probably why they have problems with fingers. Is because we're always like.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the tell. You gotta have a tell.
We got the side view.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna put us in the NSA. That because we just we're smart like that.
Well, hunt and peck is like this.
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is like when you talk about hunt and peck, then I think about chickens, like
right.
Yeah. And then my brain. This is another one of those like Jamie's brain. Like what are the jumps, right? And so there's a place next time you're in town for any length of time where we actually have a little bit of a segment, and you're allowed to play. Like there is a place where you can go see chicken shit bingo.
Uh-huh.
And it is exactly what you think it is.
I'm so in for that.
Yeah. So there's a bar.
Oh, I get it.
There's a
So
bar,
where
and
will the
there is
chicken poop on the number?
not will, like where. So
Where? What
there's a
number?
board, and and you got a number, and you wait
That's
for
some
that.
legit Keno.
It
You know,
is
like up here we play Keno on
no.
digital.
This is
in
another
the
level,
bar.
dude. This is
Chicken
Austin,
shit
Texas.
Keno.
Chicken shit bingo.
I'm totally in.
Yeah.
Like, what's the buy-in? Like,
I haven't
is
been
it
in
$1
a long
a
time.
draw?
I haven't been in a long time, but we will
Chicken
totally
shit
we will
bingo.
totally do it. Just add that to the to-do
When's the
list.
next Texas trip? I need to make it happen.
I mean, there's soccer games, there's chicken shit bingo, there's barbecue. I mean, what
I'll
else?
do it just for the bingo.
I mean, yeah.
I got a bill paid from a client today, so there we go.
There you go. Right.
It's my bingo money.
Buy that Southwest airline ticket and just come on down.
Southwest. Well, for now.
Yeah.
Things could change. I did change my flight, Mr. Jamie, for the conference. The AI
I'm glad you did that. And apparently you're
Well,
going to change your digs there. You're going to change your digs there in Flint too. Like just as we get the room all set up behind you.
Oh, this is all changing. Yeah.
It's going to change again.
And that's why it's a total mess, because I'm moving again. So, yeah, I'm like all our favorite YouTubers, constantly moving.
Mm-hmm. You're like an influencer now.
Yeah, you only are an influencer if you say you are.
Oh, I thought you were going to say unless you're only an influencer if you've got gray walls.
Influence. Well, I guess I'll have to paint everything gray. Okay, These are kind of gray.
Yeah, it feels like stellar metallic.
It just changed.
Sherwin-Williams or something.
It changed to gray when I moved into the room because we are influencers, Jamie.
Yes.
I mean, this is the 176th. We have to rephrase certain terminology. This is the 177th recording. Spoiler alert, they don't all come out in order. We sometimes change the order because we want to.
Yeah.
But this is the we can't say 177th live stream because we didn't start doing that until say episode 100 or 90, or was it 90 or 80? It was somewhere around
a while
100.
ago. Yeah.
And so whatever, we are in a live stream of sequence 177.
Yes.
But at this point, if we don't change something, this will come out as the 177th episode too.
Yeah, I mean, it's as we're going through the episode, if suddenly one of us goes, "Damn, that was a good episode,"
we got to move one up.
Then we do it. But otherwise, yes, this is 177 coming up.
So we know a thing or two about a thing or two, which is why we're influencers.
Oh. Yes.
Hence, some days I just get tired of dancing around the issue, Jamie. Just got to go for it.
It's like we need a T-shirt or some swag.
We have swag.
I know we need new swag.
If you go to that link,
and we need a new intro and a new outro, and we need some new music.
Well, all those things cost money, Jamie.
I know. Well, or. Do they?
Somebody buy our swag.
Yeah, buy the swag, and then we can do all the new stuff.
More new music, intros, outros, overtoes. I don't know.
Just next time you see us, just buy us a cup of coffee.
Yep. That's all it takes. Next thing you know, our theme song will be that. Was it Sarah McLachlan?
Oh, the one with the sad puppies?
PETA. The PETA commercial. In the arms of the angels. And
Yeah,
Jamie and Kurt are
like tears. Like we will be fumbling
handouts.
towards ecstasy. Isn't that what it was?
The song?
The album.
Oh, I don't remember.
Mm.
It's just a very appropriate PETA song.
It was a very like late night studio, like when everybody needed to like just sort of like ratchet it down a little bit. There would be a moment.
I was part of the
slip
fan
that in,
club
and
of
then it would be
120 minutes. You remember 120 minutes on that?
Oh yeah, that was pretty.
Midnight.
That was
heavy metal.
That was good stuff. I mean,
we have friends. You probably know who Jeremiah Russell is, right? Our architect friend in Arkansas. Yeah. He's 120 minutes.
Yeah.
I think he listens.
I think he's like usually on 11.
Oh yeah, he's an 11 kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's one louder.
Yeah.
Oh, we got so many good ones right now. If somebody was capable of making clips of these things,
damn it,
we'd be all over the internet influencing the. I was going to say the F word, but we're influencing the hell out of the internet.
I know. Still PG-13. Very few F-bombs.
Do you like that? I reeled it.
You totally did. You caught it. Like.
Do you watch guys on YouTube, people, instead of saying, the S word, they say, no, shot. Because they don't want to get caught. They say shot instead of, the other word.
No.
I watch too much YouTube. I probably watch too much everything.
There is a lot
and not
of YouTube
enough editing of the videos.
Yeah, right. Jesus. I mean, so I had a cousin.
This is my intervention. Everybody in the chat can say, what they have to say. And Jamie has called this intervention.
Yeah, I've called this intervention. Everybody,
stop watching garbage on TV.
Yeah, no more garbage.
True crime
YouTube.
Is dead. 2 crimes over.
Yeah, he's just searching. He's searching for other themes. Don't go into his recently watched list.
Getting real sad now.
It's getting weird. No, I have a cousin who all my cousins are older than me, but her husband.
All your cousins are cousins, right?
Well, they're not. No, not that way. I mean, we're Canadian. We're not from the swamp. I'm not saying people from the swamp marry their cousins or something like that, but
that's not where I was going with all.
I don't know where you were going with it, but
you stepped in it though.
I did. I had a point. Yeah, I don't know. We're circling back. So no, it was instead of saying shit, he would say "oh chocolat." So it was he was also French. So he would just sort of.
Was it chocolate?
Yeah, that's what he would say. That was that was his phrase. "Oh chocolat." Every time instead of cussing, that's what would come out, which was great for all the little ones around because they kind of knew it was it was a bad word coming, but because it was coming from him, it was going to be covered by this other word. Yeah, and it's dramatic too. He was sort of a big guy and very full-throated. Oh, chocolat. So yeah, it was on 11. On 11.
Oh, I like it. That's cool. It's cool. Good stuff. Well, was there anything else? Well, should we talk about brackets now or on the episode?
Because let's go on the episode because
brackets are a mess.
Dude, I am
tears are streaming. Down my
tears,
face.
But I am killing you on both. So
well.
But there's hope. There's still hope for Kurt in the women's bracket. So
not anymore. I mean,
did it get worse?
Well,
did it get even worse?
We'll have to talk about that.
Okay.
But
it's time.
You said wait, so
it's time.
All right.
It's time.
All right, it's time. Oh, I don't want to even go there. Oh, shakala. Oh, shakala.
Perfect execution, my friend. Perfect. My cousin would be very, very proud at this moment and laughing, as would my daughter, because she
I
would
hope so.
know from her youth exactly what our cousin was trying to express in that.
Well, speaking of the youths, I have a student and one of my advisees wanted to know if where how what's the shortest route to ordering a Coffee Sketch podcast mug?
It's right there.
It,
That way. That
it's
way. Nope. That
oh
way. Nope. That
this
way. It's that side right there.
this link.
That
Are we pointing at it?
yeah.
Your
You
fingers
are.
on
No, you're over there.
over
Over
here.
there. Yeah. So that QR code,
So
in fact,
Dylan,
works.
right there.
Yeah.
Smash that like button. Oh
And
wait, no, that QR.
you too can run the jewels to your Coffee Sketch podcast.
That's the I don't have my mug. Damn it. It's at my desk at school. Run the jewels right to the mug. So yeah, for the youngins that are listening, or the oldens, or the in betweenins, please buy a mug, a T-shirt.
Or Kurt's gonna cry.
Yeah.
And Sarah McLaughlin will
Sarah McLachlan
pick
is
up the
come up in the
soundtrack from there.
background.
Yeah.
The sad podcaster.
Yeah.
In the arms of the
Oh,
angel.
please. That's
I know. Well, if you ask Danielle, I'm tone deaf. I claim I don't want to admit it. That's what she
that
says.
is because you've been listening to 120 minutes on YouTube.
120. I started young.
Yeah.
Heavy metal. Not YouTube. MTV.
I know, but I'm saying you're watching it again on YouTube, like
Oh, right. Well, that's the only
like
place to.
you are refreshing your like.
Oh,
Keep up with me. Keep up with me.
the routine, Jamie. It's the routine.
I know it's Tuesday night, and we're like
we're on a heater.
it's Tuesday night. It's the usual time, usual
Yeah,
bat signal.
we're
I
live
mean, we're live. I mean,
as the only live recorded and live streamed architecture and coffee sketching podcast. The That didn't roll off the tongue like I wanted it to. Not
no.
like it has
You
in the
want to do it
past.
again? Do you want to do it again?
Oh yeah, yeah. Do it. Well, when it's live though, you don't really get a second chance.
No.
So
But like everybody's going to just pause and they're going to take a deep breath and they're going to imagine this is all happening again. This is the beauty of it. So this is the
right.
setup. Yeah. Okay.
So
So
welcome to the only live streamed architecture podcast that we call Coffee Sketch Podcast. That's kind of what it is, right?
it's kind of That's better. That was better. I think if you did it a third or fourth time, we might like take 7. Like we
Yeah,
would be right there.
and then at that moment we could see the watch hours.
Yeah. That's when the
These
numbers
guys just keep repeating the same thing.
they kept trying to give this poor guy a chance to just say the same line over and
All
over
I
and
said,
over again.
just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat as we will be monitoring the activity. But we are heading into we're in the this is the show, but we are heading into um the home stretch, let's say, into the conference, right?
Ah,
We're 2 months out from the AIA conference, in which we will be meeting. So for our friends, so we have lots of friends. I don't even know if Jamie knows where I'm going with this, but we have architecture podcasting friends
are
out
you?
there.
Wait, hold on. Are you bringing up the thing that I've brought up to you multiple times leading up to this episode?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
and so for those friends that are listening, this is the open call to put together a architecture podcast meetup at the conference in June in Boston.
I wouldn't call it an open call. because that sounds like we're fishing, because we're
Well,
not fishing. This is more like
you
this
want to
is
be
like us
collectible?
doubling down and saying we're going to have a meetup, like
Oh, oh,
like and yes, watch this space.
oh. Okay, I I'm with that, but I didn't go that way. Watch this space. That's because Jamie is an influencer.
Yeah, as you make
Watch
me
this
like
space. He used
spit out
in.
the coffee.
I caught you. I got you. Well, speaking of coffee, what is in your coffee cup? I have some new stuff to talk about. So, but you go first.
I like I have been rationing the snake oil, because I felt like I really needed to have like doses of it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
it's quite good, and I have really enjoyed it.
yeah.
One cannot give snake oil; one has to purchase snake oil. I purchased my own snake oil.
That's right.
Um,
You can't.
as
You can't. You can't doge snake oil.
No, you cannot doge it. There's
Yeah,
no
it's
like.
not
There's
dogeable.
all kinds of stuff. We like the. This might be the last podcast episode for the Coffee Sketch podcast, because Kurt used one of the like. It's not like it's like the
Oh,
opposite of a safe word, right?
it's a
It's like,
it's a keyword.
yeah, keyword search.
It's a target. Well, our friends at Restream are constantly listening, so pay attention, Restream.
Yeah, cut that word, please.
Keep us on the
Um,
safe list.
we're on the safe list. So yeah, snake oil. Cheers.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't had any in a while, but I have had some new stuff. Um, there's so within the Flint area, it's not city of, but we're close. There's a roaster called Fireside Roasters, and I mean, I guess when you're introduced to new roasters, right, within the in the area, want to celebrate them. So I got a bag of Fireside uh, coffee company. I have to get the actual name, but it's Fireside Roasting. Uh, Technically Swartz Creek, Flint Township,
So does it
let's
have like
say.
a picture of like Franklin Delano Roosevelt with like a big like mic in front of like on the bag? Welcome to my fireside chat.
No, it's a little more say minimal on the labeling or
Mm.
design side. However, the flavor. So I have the dark. I bought the dark roast, and the dark roast is called Flint Strong. It's a good name, Flint Strong. So it's good. It's fantastic. And I'm near the end though, so now I have to go. I got to make a decision
Well, I mean,
where we go next.
Do they have other?
Hmm
Oh well,
There's like at least four that I saw, and I got them at our friends our coffee spot in the farmers market. So
well, I mean, there's that care package. I have one. Like I admit, haven't
trial.
sent. You know, you know, maybe it's an Easter basket. Maybe you can send me an Easter basket full of coffee.
Easter. What are your thoughts on Cadbury eggs?
Oh my god, like that's like a like you know me. Like I'm not like the dessert guy, right? It's just, I mean, I do like chocolate, right? I do like the dark.
Chocolat.
I
Oh,
do like
chocolat.
exactly. I do like the dark chocolate. Like it's good. Um, but you know, yes, that
You
is
like a
one
Cadbury egg? Okay, good.
I cannot
I
like.
think because they had good marketing in the Northeast.
I just can't pass up a good Cadbury egg. I mean,
It's
like
like
that's
my
just
favorite thing.
I could be like so
I don't
full.
give a. I don't care about any of the other
Yeah.
Easter
Oh no,
candy.
like Peeps.
Meh,
What is that?
trash.
Yeah, it's total trash. M likes the
We'll go to
Peeps.
the mat. Yeah.
Like she'd be like, and then they did. I will admit the Peeps, like maybe in an effort to pull in a new audience, like realize they might need to innovate, and so they did do that like Peep with the chocolate on the bottom, like a brushing of chocolate. You've
Uh,
seen those?
I don't think so.
Those that I almost. I almost can accept, but still, it's a peep.
Chocolate and marshmallow.
Yeah.
The
But it's
Cadbury,
not.
man. The
It's the
egg.
Cadbury eggs. God,
Yeah.
that's so good.
I guess, okay, so we're talking Easter time frames here. So, we'll do. Hopefully well, if you're around here in the Midwest, it's still cold. Potentially getting 2 inches of snow tonight.
It's like 80 something here.
And then an inch of rain. So,
yeah.
And then the tornado might wipe us all out. So, it's just about being careful.
Yeah. No, I gotcha.
We don't want to throw around any more buzzwords like, climate change and things like that. Keywords.
Stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. So,
yeah, there's a lot of, travel, anyone traveling. But all right, duly noted. Put it on the board uh, as Easter basket fireside coffee and maybe some Cadbury eggs. So, Jamie, speaking of putting it on the board,
yes. Yes.
bracketology.
It
I,
is.
I don't even know why I'm bringing it up because it's so dismal on my end. I should actually, while you start talking, I actually will grab a screen share of
Of your bracket? Like,
the.
like
Well, I'm gonna try and get both.
people's eyes might bleed. They might bleed.
Well,
They
people
might
will laugh.
literally bleed.
We'll probably lose subscribers over this.
So this is when we do our little subreddit like sports segue. So we did warn everybody in a past episode, which might be totally out of order by now. Totally fine. You don't have to watch them in order or listen to them in order to really get the gist of the podcast. But all that to say is that I maybe have issued a challenge to Kurt, like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we had a coffee sketch podcast bracket that the two of us competed against each other, kind of in our own little group, our own little private group on the men's as well as the women's side of March Madness.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'll say this before I even show my bracket that the men's side looks like it got beat by one of those torpedo baseball bats in the Major League Baseball within the first 48 hours. And then on the women's side, I had a shred of life until my poor Trojans couldn't get it done against UConn of all teams, my home state, which was a close, what do you call it, close ranked matchup, but it turned out that the my Trojans couldn't quite get it done.
Yeah, so on the women's side, as Kurt's describing, so he had the Trojans going all the way. I did think the Trojans were going to, advance a whole hell of a lot further than they did. But
well, it was the Elite Eight. I mean,
I know. Well, I'm okay,
but they got beat in the Elite Eight. Yeah.
But who's winning? Who's winning on both sides? Maybe let's just
overall.
Let's just cut to the chase. Who's
well,
winning?
Let's see. Here we go. In second place is me.
And that's on the women's side. And yes,
the
I have
Montreal Fallout.
Yeah, I've got South Carolina winning.
So if you got by points, it's what 980 to 740. So that's
yeah.
And at this stage, I think I'm out.
Yeah,
but as they say, mathematically eliminated.
I mean, my max points are basically potentially double yours at this point. So.
Well, on the men's side,
on the women's side, on the men's side, I think the men's side, it's
Well, A&M got beat, but then State lost too. Last weekend. So, but you're crushing me. I mean, you've crushed me every round, essentially. I was nowhere close.
It's strategery.
If we looked at the whole thing, people will laugh.
I think so. My takeaway from Kurt's bracket versus mine is that Kurt is that guy who gambles on lots of upsets, like
Yeah,
early
I did.
and
I did
early and
hard this year.
early and often this year. And I think that I think you have to. I think you do have to pick an upset or two, and certainly there were some in quite a few brackets. But
I picked the wrong ones in the most cases.
yeah, we could say it that way. So
So, yeah. Well, apparently though, let's see. On the men's side, all the 4 number 1 seeds made it to the final 4. And then is the same true on the women's side? 1, 2, 1, 1. Nope, UConn. UConn, of course, yeah. UConn took out USC, which otherwise it would have been all 1 seeds on both sides. How embarrassing for myself.
that's okay. So
Well, you know
again,
what? It was fun.
only bragging rights. Only bragging rights. We um, did this totally for fun. It's that time of year, so um,
What
yeah.
a riot! Yeah.
I thought this was the year that the Aggies had a real shot. So
Now,
and
actually,
they
let's go back. So where did they? Oh, they got beat by Michigan.
yeah, I know. I see. That's
But
where I
then
thought you were gonna. That's where I thought you were gonna start.
I wasn't gonna
But
try and rub it in. But you know what though? You know who is gonna rub it in? You know who is definitely gonna rub it in? Is this guy?
yeah, I know that guy.
The the guy, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that we know that is an Auburn alum who not only beat A&M, he beat Michigan and State. Michigan State, for those that don't speak the lingo, in order to get to the Final Four, which now there is a chance to continue. Oh, and look at that. And then the final is in San Antonio, as if it wasn't close enough, Jamie.
Yeah, I know. It's all in the
Rub it right in.
Yep. So,
Salt in the
anyways,
wound.
yeah. So Kurt is just this is the tech stuff, and like we're getting in the weeds, and this is where he lives. So we're gonna
The
pull him out.
data.
We're just gonna pull out from the data, and we're gonna go right into the sketches.
Yeah. We have, uh, we need to redeem it. So the, but we have, well, yeah, this is our segue to Sketchland. So we will not name names. Yeah. But moving on from the, the bracketology. But I wanted to talk about, Jamie's latest sketch on the right hand side is, I guess, in this case, the most recent. Um, and then the left, I think, is within a day or two
It's a
of.
day. It's the day before. Yeah, and I encourage you to have both. I know we're going to talk about the one on the right. The one on the left was super important to me because it unlocked what ended up happening on the right.
Ah, I like that.
I
Okay,
needed, I
and
needed, I needed. This is one of those moments where I needed to do that sketch on the left to get to the one on the right.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, are you talking about both pages or just one of the pages?
No, I did. So the one on the left, I actually did both pages at the same time. It's all one
Uh-huh.
sketch.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and it started out just from a technique point of view. Um, I was having a conversation with a friend about the book that's there. I've been sort of pulling into this architect's library, um, theme of late. I've mentioned it before in a couple episodes, and some of the sketches. You start to see that book from my library. I pull off my shelf and sort of use as inspiration. This one is specifically it's kind of a great book, and it's one that I found. It's one that I've had for God, like 20 years. And it's uh, there's a comic book writer and artist, graphic novelist named Brian Wood, and he worked with Becky Cloonan, who's an artist, on a series called Channel Zero. And it was Channel Zero sort of stemmed from Brian Wood being in graphic design school. I think he was at Parsons, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, point being was, you have these thesis projects, you have these sort of kernels of ideas. And so one of the things that he was dabbling with at that time was sort of Gen X, feelings about, media and misinformation and influence and all those types of things kind of in a gritty kind of urban environment. And what that precipitated was this sort of draft version of a book that he eventually did called Channel Zero. And it's sort of this, good trouble kind of, right at the, kind of the early aughts. And, but what was interesting about it was that ended up being a precursor to DMZ, which is a show that, or another graphic novel that ended up turning into a short-lived series, I think, on HBO or produced by HBO. Rosario Dawson was in it.
Oh, right. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and so, but same creator. And what was interesting, as I've talked about, is I love the like, where do these ideas come from? From these artists and sort of architects or creators. And so I was fortunate to find I enjoyed the book, right? I enjoyed the series, Channel Zero to begin with, female protagonist, all these types of things. But there was this effectively kind of build as a sketchbook of these. This was this book that you're seeing here called Public Domain was the
Mm-hmm.
sketchbook that assembled all the images that helped create the world and the world building associated with that story. And so there was photographs and images and Xerox copies and hybrid drawings and all these types of things that you're like, oh wow, this is poster art, this is graffiti, this is how it all becomes kind of a storyline. And in doing that, it made me think of like I was sort of at a creative impasse, and so I was like, well, what if I did just an automatic drawing, kind of inspired by that book. And that's where the one on the left comes in, is sort of a, individual with a gas mask on, and they're getting ready to do some graffiti. And so it's sort of almost like a continuous line drawing, and you can kind of see that there. And then, and then as I fleshed out that image into an environment, it becomes a street scene. Starts to take on these kind of, hyper realistic, image of a building, but then sort of these, hybrid esque kind of drawings that I do, where, architecture and folly become kind of parasite on the building, and then it becomes this larger composition. So that was just, starting out with that automatic drawing, very quick single line, to something that gets fleshed out, and the style and technique completely changes, and so it's almost like two different people are working on the same image.
Right. Got it. Which is why I suppose it's because they don't necessarily off the cuff seem related until your explanation, but the automatic drawing being the key of the sort of conceptual workflow, right? The movement of the pen to hand and paper and all that. So very cool. Which actually, I didn't have the connection between this and say DMZ, and which is always fun to see where influences cross domains from say art world to film and design and architecture and those other spatial arts. Um, which then, if we segue over to the side, the sketch on the right, which is a more familiar to me theme, which is Shepherd Ferry and Obey and some of the mural art and um, facade or kind of guerrilla takeover of sort of mural space. But your take, I don't know if yours is necessarily Is it direct reference, or is it a sort of interpretation of a reference in
It's
one of the?
it's a little bit of an interpretation, but I just have to. Here's my prop. Here's my
Mhm.
one prop for the day. Got to bring the visual aids. So yeah, I think Shepard Fairey's work, as an artist, has always been about uh, touching on political themes, and I think in sort of that era of things, and the era in which we live, I think that I look to those artists to see what they're doing, and so he's sort of dabbled in some of those things of late, and has been quiet to a certain degree in the last few months, but I think some things are starting to trickle out. What's what I appreciate about how his work has evolved as an artist is that a lot of it really did start out as sort of the kind of hero architect, hero artist, where it was sort of one individual kind of with an idea and a theme, and he sort of built this little empire around it, of collaborators, and kind of always kind of acknowledging them to a certain degree.
Mhm.
But I think what it's evolved into in probably the last 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, is real pure collaborations with other artists. And I think that that's something that, as my own maturity as a designer, and artist myself or architect myself, is how can I more collaborate with somebody who maybe even has something that is maybe a disparate take than my own. Maybe their workflow is different. Maybe their work or style is different, but I really appreciate it. It's something that I really like, but maybe don't even associate with my own. And so, in this particular case, for a women's suffrage memorial mural, kind of talking about the women's right to vote, Shepard goes out and gets probably one of the most, I think, interesting women muralists that's out there. She's from Montreal. We've talked about her before,
Mhm.
um, but her work is just sort of really. It has a really particular style. It does have sort of a comic book element to it, but at the same time, this portraiture that she's doing is just incredible. And so you get these sort of faces, these portraits that are have these eyes that are really really piercing, and these sort of these images, and at the same time there's this peeling away or application of kind of another layer of information, and it's oftentimes um, sort of almost feels like comic book pages that have been torn or ripped, or that you're kind of either reading on top of or behind or both. And so in this particular mural in downtown Austin, um, I believe it's her largest work that she's ever done to date. But not necessarily his. But I think this is clearly her leading the charge on
Mhm.
the image and the composition, and then sort of his execution and sort of subtlety, uh, very deferential, in a lot of respects, with texture and sort of composition. I just think it's really fabulous, and for the month that we're in, for the age that we're in, for the year that we're in. I had a lot of thoughts about this. I see this mural often as I'm either going to work or kind of in downtown, and I wanted to revisit it. So
Yeah, it's a really nice sketch, which is what I texted you the other day, just to just to say, hey, I think that is something that we don't want to miss on the podcast. And I was thinking as you were describing that and the other, the previous sketch as the automatic drawing is just for those, especially a lot of my students that are listening. Automatic drawing is considered um, the concept of allowing the subconscious to sort of take over the hand and not necessarily be trying to draw something that with an intention of an object, but more like allowing the brain to sort of freely associate the movement of the hand to the page relative to the say the previous whatever line is previously drawn on the page. Let the hand or the hand eye sort of react to those continual movements, um, and therefore it will result in a something, right, a composition of some sort. And so, which is kind of like looking at your sketch on the left, um, the semblance of some of those things that they're sort of subliminally suggesting the hand to move to, like you mentioned, the sort of graffiti artist and the gas mask or something like that, then overlaid with something a little bit more hardline, like a building or formal that we can recognize, and then flipping over to the collaborative mural, right, which is a mural associated with a building, but being a little bit more formal about it, and just an interpretation. So I mean, that's the thing, is like it one informs the other, and then you kind of go back and forth a little bit, right, informing
Well,
each other.
yeah, and I'd be remiss. I didn't say it before, but the artist of the mural that worked with Shepard Fairey was Sandra Chevalier, and
Right.
so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and if you're not following her on Instagram, uh, if you're not following both of them on Instagram, you absolutely should. But I think that you'll see the what's interesting if you look at them as sort of two different distinct artists is that they do have very very different ways of working and very very different styles. But I think that that sort of mutual respect and maybe even admiration, I would assume admiration, is kind of the way that I entered this as well, as like that sort of uniqueness of the end product, and then realizing that it's these two people that I find interesting, and kind of pulling the two things together, I think is pretty fantastic. So, and I'm glad that I was able to kind of try and render it at least in this kind of a way. I think it's something that's sort of unique to the.
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Jamie. This is a first for us. Uh-oh. Hopefully the weather is fine down there. Yikes. Okay, there we go. So I got a text from Jamie, said the uh power dipped. Might be out. So um bear with me, folks. Sorry about that. Oh, there we go. All right. I got word Jamie's okay, but he did lose power. So we're going to put a pin in the episode for tonight. Thank you all. Hope you gained something out of the conversation about the sketches. And as normal, we'll always post the sketch on with the audio upload so that you have something to look at in the conversation. But we will look forward to you talking to you again in the near future. Thank you.